what childhood wounds still affects you? The things that we go through as kids, do they really disappear? Somebody asked me this question, and where do I even begin to talk about it? Hello, welcome to day 16 of 30 Days of Conversation with myself, here on Candid with rheelshadie. My name is rheelshadie, and I'm all about lifestyle growth, positivity, and personal development. If this is your first time tuning in, what a very interesting topic for you to join me at. And if you're returning, my heart still beats for you just as it did since the very first day we started this. Now, talking about childhood trauma, whatever it is, etc., everything in between. For starters, there was a time, not right now, I think it was around last year, maybe middle of last year or something, where there was just this trend on TikTok. Like, it wasn't a trend like people were making videos about it. It was a trend as per, like, you go to the comment section and that's what you see. Like, if there's anything about African parents, things we experienced during childhood, or childhood memories, who remember this from childhood, etc., 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 there's always just that part of the comment section that goes, oh, our childhood trauma, all the things that our parents, put us through, etc., etc. Now, I think that in the 21st century, especially with people in my generation, and God bless the heart of those coming after us, there's just this way we glorify some thing, for lack of better word. People talk about, oh, my mental health, this and that. Oh, I have OCD. I have there's this one where, like, you have this, you can't concentrate and all of that. It's not OCD. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to remember. I don't want to spend seconds thinking about it. ADHD, yeah. And people are all like, oh, my ADHD kicked in, my OCD, my this, my that. And, it takes away from the people who actually suffer from these things. And I'm like, y'all need to take a chill pill. Honestly. Yes, maybe for people who claim they have OCD, maybe you like a neat space. It doesn't necessarily mean you have OCD. I had a friend of mine. It was an entire conversation where we talked about. I was trying to tell him, you do not have OCD. You don't. But you went on and on like, oh, I read that. Yeah. They can't sit still. I'm like, okay, you're a little active. It doesn't mean you have ADHD. etc. Anywho, the reason why I went off to say that is talking about childhood trauma. Yes, maybe our parents did things we didn't like in our best interest, if you look at most of them. But we can't call them childhood trauma because it takes away from people who actually had childhood trauma. Okay? Now, here is my thought on that. It is the fact that, yes, you're in an African setting. You're definitely going to get flogged by your parents. You can't compare yourself to the Western world where if you eat your child, you would probably have to report at a police station or something. And yes, you might find a few people whose parents never eat them. Oh, boo-hoo. I know the amount of time I've seen kids on the internet and I'm like, if I am this kid's mother, I would smack the living daylight out of him. I didn't really get a lot of beatings. Not that I didn't get, like, I got my ass whooped a couple of times. Like, thinking about it now, like, plenty memories are flashing in my head. But it is not enough to call it childhood trauma. If it wasn't actually something traumatic, just because you don't like it, just because you felt like, oh, they didn't treat you right, you're meant to be babied and all of that, doesn't exactly make it a childhood trauma. Growing up now, I don't have my own kids yet, but I'm like, I don't have my own kids yet, and I feel this way. I can't imagine what my parents had to go through with 5 kids. Heavens know that they were the one going through a lot, not us. They were the ones. So before you go around peddling the fact that, oh, you had childhood trauma, African parents and childhood trauma, take the chill pill and let's just be logical about things. Okay? Look, we forget the fact that our parents are humans too. They didn't get things right. Because trust me, no matter the amount of parenting books that you read, parenting conferences that you go through, advice that you get, everybody is still going through their own parental journey. Clean, new. No one has ever lived it like that before. If you're taking advice from somebody with 2 kids, try handling 5. If you're taking advice from somebody that has 2 boys and a girl, try handling 3 girls instead. Like, there's just so many things, and each child is like unique in its own right. And coupling all of that with having to do with work, some of them probably had a terrible day at work, getting yelled at by their boss, struggling with or out to put food on the table, and then you come home, you send your kid to go grind pepper, and you realize that the money that you earned by the skin of your teeth got poured away. Now, is beating the child out of anger the way to go? Not necessarily. But then I just think that we need to cut our parents slack sometimes and understand the fact that they're humans. Maybe they made mistakes raising us. Maybe they were a little brash, but they were in their fields. Does it make you right? I'm not saying that it does. I'm just saying that we need to be adults, get over it, grow up, and just try to be better parents. And I can bet it with you that by the time we start having our own kids, we will understand our parents a little bit more. Okay? And then we'll go through that cycle of our kids not getting it, and they grow up and then they get it, and then the cycle continues. So what is that childhood hurt that still affects me? Nothing, really. Nothing. Because beyond it all, I am grateful for the parents that I have. I am grateful for the way that they raised me. And I hope for the life of me that I can even give my child a fraction of what those 2 people gave me, imperfect as they were. So instead of just focusing on everything that went wrong, why not shift our gaze to the good part? And I said that to the person and they were still like, oh yeah, easy for you to say if you didn't have to go to school hungry, blah 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 blah. Again, you have a lot of self-reflection to do. I just think that instead of looking at the rearview mirror, let's face what's in front of us and try to be better parents to our kids than our parents were to us. Even if your parents are like the best in the world, you can still do better for your kid. That's what I know. So that's my 2 cents. Let me know what you think about this whole childhood drama, holding on to the things that happened when we were kids. Trust me, if I choose to do that, there's like a lot of things that I can decide to hold on to. I lived in a house that had 5 siblings. Trust me, we got on each other's nerves. Okay, they did things I didn't like. I, for sure, as the last one, did things they didn't like. Okay, off the top of my head, I remember lying on my sister one time like this. So, look, we'll always offend each other. We'll always do things. You're learning and you're growing as people. Just whatever it is that you do, just don't let it hold you back. Don't be stuck in the past and do better for your kids if you plan to have any. So as you go about your day, your week, your year, remember to spread nothing but love and keep reaching for the stars. As a matter of fact, spread some love and reach out to your parents. Yeah, it's love for last day.